Good, good, good. We're live here on LinkedIn, so say hello.
Whoop whoop. What's up, LinkedIn?
Whoop whoop. Oh, okay. All right. And we got is it Juggalo? You're Juggalo? Whoop whoop.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it whoop whoop or a whoop whoop? Okay. So, Bill, you're from Fillogic, right?
Founder CEO.
Yes. And your name's not Phil. What happened?
That's our mascot. The mascot's named Phil.
Oh, yeah.
It's logical fulfillment.
Logical fulfillment. Love it. Got it. So, tell us a little bit about Fillogic. What do you guys do?
So what we do is we take underutilized spaces in retail centers, primarily shopping malls, with the technology and the operations to make that ecosystem, which truly what a mall is, operate more efficiently to support not only mall-based retailers, digital native brands that want to operate in the middle mile. Because when you look in that middle mile is where aggregation happens, it's where optimization happens. Final mile, unfortunately, you get point-to-point delivery issues.
Right.
Aggregation is all in the middle mile, so that's what we do.
Very interesting. And actually, I moderated a panel on Middle Mile this morning. So we're on topic here, right? So, I mean, it's very interesting. And I love the fact that you said you're utilizing space that's not being utilized. Sounds like untraditional in some aspects for a fulfillment, right, side of things. So talk to us a little bit about kind of where the idea come from and how'd you come up with this?
Well, look, I've been spending over 30 years in retail logistics technology, e-commerce operations. Spent most of that time working in off-price. And an off-price retailer is pretty much a dumpster fire half the time. And sort of the non-linear process, you usually in the off-price world have to build something out of something else. And when you look at traditional supply chains, it's all about 40-foot clear, lots of automation, but unfortunately, automation is not cheap. And buildings and the steel that's in them is not cheap.
Not cheap either.
So, the way we looked at it is, it's always been a problem when running retail stores. Retail stores don't operate well logistically because they don't have the technology. When you think about store employees, 10 years ago they had to do 5 things. Now they got to do 15 things, and it's half of them.
Right.
So it's just not a efficiency. But in aggregate, if you can get one platform provides the technology and the operations to make all of those stores operate more efficiently in aggregate, that I think is the big bonus here. That's sort of what I looked at and like, why don't these stores operate more efficiently?
Right.
The infrastructure was built to do something else. And our whole feeling in starting Fillogic was really looking and saying, if you can make those buildings operate more efficiently, revenues will be better, margins will be better. But think about this, there's been so much bad press on the shopping malls.
Oh, yeah.
Physical retail is still 75% of sales.
Yeah.
And that is the most efficient place to target customers. At the scale, nobody really makes money on e-commerce. Amazon. So when you look at it, if you can deploy the technology and the operations to make those buildings more efficient, that's where the sort of the winner is. And look, everybody lives around malls.
Yeah.
So transportation is cheaper. It's more efficient. And one of the things that we've hit on is there's a circularity component and sustainability component by using existing infrastructure. And most logistics folks focus on efficiencies, cost savings. But we look at it more from circularity and sustainability up front, because believe it or not, if you can go from 5 steps down to 2, believe it or not, that's more efficient, but less waste. When you think about everything that's happening, it's just more sustainable. So that's kind of how we look at it. We look at it from sort of how we engage properly with the communities. Say, look, we're not tearing anything down. We're using existing infrastructure and just deploying the technology and operations to make it more efficient.
Very interesting, and I love that circularity and sustainability approach to it as well. I mean, I think it makes so much sense. I mean, even like where I'm from in Jersey, I mean, we had a mall there that it just kind of, it was a smaller mall, and just kind of fell apart, and then eventually they decided to tear it down, and they built like warehouses instead in the place, right? But I mean, the space there that, like you said, I mean, it's in a strategic area, close to consumers, and could be utilized in different types of ways. And I think it's interesting that you're taking those opportunities to see that, and also making existing retail locations more efficient too, especially as those retail locations become more than, as you mentioned, what they traditionally were, as a place just where your store employees just trying to sell whatever you guys have in there. Now they're becoming pickers and packers too, and things like that. So tell us a little bit about kind of that, from your experience in retail. I mean, how drastically has that retail experience changed for the employee in that store?
Just if you look in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
because of traffic in physical retail stores,
Mm-hmm.
the move to go online,
Yeah.
that it's a different type of personnel that is working. Specifically, think about luxury product. If a luxury brand is fulfilling from a store, the people that are used to servicing a customer with a very high AUR
Yeah.
is different than somebody's going to pick, pack, and ship. And so the idea, if you can offload some of those functions to a group like us,
Yeah.
that we can provide the technology and operations to make that more efficient, that's a big win for the retailer. I think the other big component is consumer behavior has dramatically changed
Oh yeah.
how retail operates. And so when you look at it, I think there's the dreaded term, omni-channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Omni-channel is a term that retailers use.
Mm-hmm.
Customers don't give a crap about that. They're like, "Where's my stuff? I don't care if you're sending it to me.
Where does it come from? I don't care.
Just get it to me, low price, the right stuff.
Yeah.
If it's returned for free, because if it's wrong, I'm going to shred you on 5 different social media channels."
Yeah.
So our main look is channel-free logistics. One version of inventory that you can use in multiple facets: store fulfillment, e-commerce fulfillment, returns, stock balancing, everything. Less space, faster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes so much sense, and being able to put the tech in place to leverage that and help that out. And I've talked to a couple retail employees too, and they've complained about, like I came to work at retail, I didn't come to work in a warehouse, basically,
exactly.
right? It's like the same thing, and being able to help them too, I think is a big thing, and it goes a long way, I'm sure, for the brands too, and supporting that. So if people are looking at Fillogic and wondering like if it's the right fit for their business, I mean, what position would they be in to be like a potential customer for Fillogic?
Sure. So because we do so many things, right? We're an end-to-end supply chain solution. That's a good thing for retailers because there's many different facets that they can use relatively quickly.
Right.
With some of our integrations with our existing partners. So when we talk with retailers, we basically say we're providing you the logistics technology Swiss Army knife. There's lots of different things. Tell us what your big blade is.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to use the tweezers and somebody's going to break the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Focus on the things that you need. And one of the things that I think is really important about our platform is a one-time integration with us. It means that they can use any one of our hubs within our network with a very simple configuration change. Most logistics networks, if you have to add additional nodes on the network, very time-consuming, very expensive, and payback on that is minimal. Whereas with us, our real estate is already ready. The infrastructure is close by. I mean, you're not going into the middle of the field and tearing out all that wildlife and putting in another big building. Our whole feeling is, long-term goal is, you don't need to build these bigger buildings because our technology and operations that engages and makes those malls in any retail center. It doesn't lead with malls because that's what the aggregation is.
Right.
It's any physical location that's closer to the consumer. That's where we want to be, and there's plenty of space in town. You don't need to build anything.
Yeah. I mean, you drive through any town and you see there's tons of vacant space, right? I mean,
correct.
So are you guys, you now own this real estate, or you're asset light, or asset light? Okay. All right. So when you have a customer that comes and they want to, have a different node in a certain area, you go out and find that space for them, or how does that work?
What's great about it is because the partners that we work with, which are the best mall owners in America, the capacity that they have available, since we're enterprise partners with them, we have it. It's already there.
Interesting.
Hey, here's a retailer.
Yeah.
What do they need from a capacity perspective? What solutions are they going to use? And we size that within the network. And one of the things that's really interesting is our spaces are not always contiguous. So we could have 10,000 square feet together, 5,000, 7,000. Once we can run, our fiber between the locations, it's much more malleable and accretive to the existing mall infrastructure.
Very interesting. So it's all about the strategic partnership, right?
Absolutely.
So very interesting stuff, and definitely interesting to learn about Fillogic here and what you guys are doing. I really appreciate that you're able to utilize that vacant space. So it's something that I've talked about on the podcast a couple of different times, and why is we not utilizing this space? Like, why are we building more when we have space already?
IEs think one thing.
Yes. Big
box. Build it high,
Yeah.
put a ton of automation in there. But I think the time is coming that we have to realize if we're not reutilizing our existing infrastructure, we're not going to run out of space to build it on.
Right.
And unfortunately, there is zero sustainability about it. And I think one of the things that what we're providing to the mall infrastructure is a way for those buildings to be more efficient. And by efficient, greener, because when you look at how we manage returns, how we manage recycling, everything like that goes to that ecosystem, that's where the mall is going to be the center, I think, of retail for the next 100 to 150 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really interesting stuff that you guys are doing, and definitely interested to see how that landscape continues to evolve, as you mentioned, and would be interested to talk to you in the future about that. Maybe it sounds like you got your finger on the pulse there. Yeah. So if people want to get in touch with you or get in touch with Fillogic, what's the best way to do that?
Sure. So website, Fillogic.com, Fillogic.com. They can reach out to us through our sales division. And, look me up on LinkedIn. I'm under William Thayer on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's only Bill on the podcast. That's why.
It's true. Very true.
All right. So, Bill, thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us about Fillogic.